My goal in my kitchen this December is simple meals, simple routines, and as little takeout as possible. This is something that's so easy to move away from in December as it gets busy around the holidays and we're wrapping and decorating and really forgetting to nourish ourselves with home-cooked meals. So I wanted to make this video for you guys and show you what I'm meal prepping in my kitchen this December to make my weeks a little bit more easy. Meal prepping really feels like a gift that we give to our future selves. We set aside some time earlier in the week and intentionally prep some meals for ourselves to have down the road when time is tight. And I just love being able to unwrap a little burrito or a leftovers container that I know was made with real healthy ingredients with my own two hands. So one of the things I meal prep every week without fail are these breakfast burritos. My husband and I have gone through a variety of different meal prepped breakfast options, and right now we're really loving burritos. I'm not feeling a sweet breakfast lately. Sometimes I'm leaning a bit more savory. I've been working out more, and so I think my body is just craving some more protein. So these burritos have been really nice, and my husband doesn't complain either. He's always begging me to find a way to put more protein in our weekly routine. So I buy about an 18 pack of eggs per week. I usually make about 12 to 14 for about 10 burrito wraps, and I love to put homemade yogurt in this egg concoction. I make homemade yogurt using my Instant Pot. I'll make sure to link a reel I made down below on how I make it specifically, but I find that putting yogurt in the egg mixture makes these eggs more fluffy. I've made them in the past with just a dash of heavy cream or milk when I didn't have any yogurt on hand, and the texture comes out a bit more rubbery. So it's just my personal opinion that if you whip some eggs into them, they come out a lot more fluffy. It usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes over low heat for these eggs to fully cook through. So I just walk back to them every few minutes, give the bottom a scrape, give them a good stir, and let them fully cook over time. And you'll know that they're done when you're stirring and all that's really left oozing out from the eggs is water. When you're making them with yogurt, there's a lot of water content in yogurt. So like you see here, you want just water to be coming out, then you know your eggs are fully cooked. I'm packaging up my yogurt, some for the fridge, and then these super cubes right here. I put these in the freezer so that I have some yogurt left over that I can grab for throughout the week, but I usually like to have some of it fresh in the fridge as well for yogurt bowls or smoothies or any other recipe that may call for yogurt. I also like to sub yogurt in for sour cream in recipes. I find it tastes about the same and it has more probiotics than sour cream would, so it's a really good substitute. And since I was mentioning the yogurt and egg mixture is quite watery, you're going to want to make sure you strain some of that water out of your eggs before you put them into the burrito. Take it from me, I've done this before without straining out the water, and you're left with really soggy burritos. So make sure to put that pan on a slant, give it some time to let that water drain out, and just quickly dump it down the sink before you get to assembling. Next up, we are going to make some homemade pizza dough. This is the perfect meal prep recipe when you feel like you're leaning towards the unhealthier meals that tempt you to get takeout, but you still want to be able to do it at home. I like meal prepping some healthy recipes, but then also meal prepping some recipes that are going to be craveable on those nights when you just want a takeout-esque meal. Pizza dough is super simple. You're just gonna mix together some flour, salt, yeast, and water, and then let it rise on the counter for an hour and a half, and then you're able to store this in the fridge for up to 5 days, or you can even throw it in the freezer. But as I'm sitting here voiceovering this right now, it's been sitting in my fridge for 4 nights. We're getting ready to make the homemade pizza tomorrow night, so it keeps really well and honestly develops a bit more flavor the longer you let it sit. So don't be afraid to meal prep it and save it for later in the week. And because I was just saying how you have to plan for those unhealthier recipes and cravings throughout the week as well, here are my brown butter chocolate chip cookies. I think it's so necessary to prep desserts as well because those are also the things that we're craving throughout the day. Having cookies prepped and ready keeps me from grabbing something overpriced on DoorDash or feeling the need to go out and get ice cream at night, and even just gives me that little sweet treat whenever I need a pick-me-up throughout the day while I'm working. I love these brown butter cookies. I find the brown butter just elevates the chocolate chip cookie so much more. It gives it that deep nutty flavor, and then I also love to sprinkle some Malden sea salt on them as well. You'll actually see me here putting some molasses in the sugar. I don't keep brown butter on hand anymore. I just keep a little bit of molasses in my pantry, mix it in with my sugar for any recipe that calls for brown butter, and then you have 2 in 1. You have your white sugar and you have your brown sugar, and you don't need to store them in 2 separate places. And last but not least, a cozy soup I love to go to, chicken tortilla soup. It's so nice to have a recipe for each of the different aspects you'll be eating throughout the week. I have a breakfast, a snack, or a dessert, an unhealthy pizza dough recipe, although I wouldn't even say it's unhealthy since it's homemade, and then a little bit healthier, more protein-dense chicken tortilla soup. I'm just sauteing some onions to start with some oil, and then putting in my spices, letting that come down and become translucent for a little bit longer before mixing in all of the base ingredients of this chicken tortilla soup. I personally love putting in pickled jalapenos and a little bit of their brine. I love a pickled brine, so I add that to my soup. And then here is my homemade chicken bone broth. I also make this in my Instant Pot. I'll also link the recipe to how I made this. And then just going in with some more tomato paste and this big value batch of chicken. In hindsight, this soup had way too much chicken. I wouldn't have put 8 breasts in here, but I was really trying to stretch this meal. I also did some frozen corn, some canned black beans, and when this soup was complete, I topped it with an avocado. If you have some cheese on hand, you can do that as well, and ideally some tortilla chips or strips of some sort. We were out, so I just ate it with avocados, but the more the merrier you can add on. A huge tip I have for anyone who's making any sort of recipe with shredded chicken is to put it in a KitchenAid mixer, or even if you have a handheld mixer, something with those blades that move at a heightened speed will shred your chicken so quickly. I put it in my KitchenAid mixer. It shreds in under 30 seconds. It makes it so easy to make recipes with shredded chicken. So definitely try this out. It saves you so much time. I used to hate making recipes with shredded chicken because I despised having to pull them apart with 2 forks and dealing with steaming hot meat that burned your fingers. So this is a wonderful kitchen hack. And that's a wrap. That's everything I'm meal prepping in my kitchen this week. I hope that you guys all have a gentle, cozy end to your year and feel inspired to start meal prepping and preparing for your weeks a little bit more as we head into the new year. These small routines really do have such a big impact on the way we live our lives and the way we treat our bodies.